Okay. Good morning, all of you. So, welcome to the lecture 3 of chapter number 1. So, yesterday we have stopped up to events. So, before I'll start with the events, so I have just quick recall to all the probabilities which we have seen. So, this is the classical approach of the probability which we have seen. So, where if any experiment has unlikely events to happen, so the probability of E will be m by n. We have seen this approach yesterday. So just quick recall. So where if S is a sample space of this event, then probability of n will be the number of event divided by number of sample space. This is a classical approach. Examples also we have seen yesterday. This is the frequency approach of probability. So if you take any event and you want to write the probability in terms of frequency, so you can write the frequency of that event, how many times that event has occurred, whole divided by the number of trials of the experiment. So we have seen this example also, that 450 divided by 1000 bottles of green, if you remember, that one guy has done the experiment of picking up the bottle out of 1000 times. So the frequency divided by number of trial of the experiment was the formula. So that was the frequency approach. This is also we have seen yesterday. Axiomatic probability approach we have seen yesterday. So I'll just quickly go through that. So there are three axioms. That probability of any event will be between 0 and 1. And when you add up all the probabilities, that you will get exactly 1. And for every sequence of disjoint set, you will get probability of A union A1 union A2 union A3, whatever will be probabilities of all AI, the summation of probability of all AI. It's just quick recall. So now this is very important event which I have to discuss, that the probability of independent event. So what is the probability of independent event? So basically the probability of independent event, if you have any two event, let's say A and B are any two event, then what will happen? The probability of occurrence of this event will not affect the probability of this event. So in general, what I can say, that the independent event means independent event does not affect independent event not affected by previous event, will not affected by previous event. So for example, if we take the rolling of a dice, rolling of dice, rolling of a 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 dice, So in that, if I take the event A where we have all the even numbers, this is one event. And if I take B as event which shows up all the odd number, then this event will have the outcome, let's say even number. So this is 2, 4, 6. And this event will have the outcome 1, 3, 5. So you can see that if I want to find the probability of this event, probability of even number coming on the dice is equal to how much? 1 by 6 plus 1 by 6 plus 1 by 6. So you will get 3 by 6, which is nothing but 1 by 2. Even in this case also, probability of B will be again 3 by 6, so which is equal to 1 by 2. So you can see that from this part that incidence of A means that in the event A and event B, the probabilities are same. So how we write this? That incidence, the incidence of A does not affect the probability of B. So when the event A and the probability of A does not affect the probability of B. Okay. So therefore it is the independent. So therefore A and B are independent. A and B are independent. So whether without considering the probability, without considering whether B has happened or not, probability of A is 1 by 2. So without considering whether A has happened or not, the probability of B is 1 by 2. So we have seen that the incidence of A does not affect the probability of B, which means the probability of A and B are independent. So let us quickly see the definition of that. So first, what is a dependent event? It's the opposite of independent event, where what happens depend upon what will happen, what has happened before, such as taking a card from a deck makes less card. So each and every time, if you're not replacing that card, if you have a deck of 52 cards, if you keep on taking one card, so and you're not replacing them back, so then card will become lesser, the card quantity becomes less. Okay, so it's a dependent event because picking of one card, keeping it aside, and another picking, so probabilities will differ. Okay, so if you have 52, then the probability will be out of 52. Then if you pick one card and keep it aside, the probability of another event will be out of 51. If you take another card and keep it aside, another probability will be out of 50, and so on. So probabilities are changing. So occurrence of one event, incidence of one event, changing the probability of other. So it will become an independent event. So we will learn more at conditional probability. Okay, what is independent event? That I will also discuss in conditional probability in this chapter. So independent event are not affected by previous event at all. So as I've already discussed this, so in terms of rolling of dice, this is example of causing of turn I have given. If you toss a coin and it comes up head 3 times, then what is the chance that next toss it will be head? The chance is simply 1 by 2. Okay, you have tossed the coin and it have come head 3 times. You have already tossed the coin and you have got head 3 times. So in the next time also, if you toss the coin, again you have equal chance of getting head and tail. So even this probability will be also half, and this probability of also half. So occurrence of this event is not affecting the probability of this event. So you may get 4 heads previously, but that doesn't matter. Previously what has happened has happened. When you toss it in next time once again, so again you have the 2 outcomes possible, H and tail. So like that, the occurrence of one event does not affect the occurrence of other event. So the definition, simple definition is that the 2 events are independent if the incidence of one event does not affect the probability of other event. If the incidence of one event does affect the probability, as we have seen in the deck of card example, then the event are called dependent event. You have to understand this independent event very carefully, because while solving the problem, you have to identify whether the events are independent to each other or not. So many real-time examples you can give. For example, if you want to, for the students, those who are attending the classes, okay. So you have to attend the classes. Many of the students are simply waking up and joining the classes, right? Some students are very genuine, and they will early morning they will do exercise, they will brush their teeth, they'll take bath and all. So they're all the event which is depending upon them, okay. So there are certain things which has dependence, and something which has independence. So we have to identify those natures. So let us take this example. There are 6 fair die. You have to just identify whether this event is independent or not. So there are 6-sided fair dice and a blue 6-sided fair die. There are 2 dice. One is red color, one is blue color. So both dice are rolled at same time. A be the event that red dice result is even, and B result in odd. We have already discussed, this event will be independent. I have already showed you in the previous slide. So this event will be definitely independent, because the probability of A and probability of B are same. So the probability of A, without considering whether probability of B will happen, probability of B without considering the A will happen. So occurrence of A, it does not affecting the probability of B. So both probabilities are same. So hence the A and B are independent. Let us take this example. Can you tell me whether the event is independent or dependent? I just want to know whether it's independent or dependent. All of you, please, when you attend the classes, I want you to sit with pen and paper so that you can work out. Anyway, materials are there with you. You can go through later, but to have interaction session, you should also be solving with me. So there are 3 marbles, 5 blue marbles, sorry, 3 green marbles and 5 blue marbles in a bag. 2 marbles are drawn at from the bag at randomly they are choosing. So let G be the event. So here they have taken an event G, where the first marble drawn is in green color. Okay, and another event they have taken as B, where the second marble drawn is blue. So I just want to check whether this event G and B are independent or not. So are they independent? I just want to know this part. So how you decide whether this event is independent or dependent? Any idea? So to answer this question, let us say take as case 1. So in case 1, I will first say that G happens. G happens. It means the first marble drawn is green. Okay. G is the event that first one drawn is green. So if the first marble we have drawn is green, then what is the effect of probability of B? Because we have to look into probability of B only, because we are discussing with event G. So you have to talk about the probability of B. Whether probability of B has any effect, let us see. So if the first marble is drawn is green, then what is the probability of B? B means the blue color marble. So blue color marble will be 5 divided by 8 or 7. 5 by 8 or 7, because there are 5 plus 3, there are 8 marbles. but you have already taken one green. So the remaining will be in 2 only. So here here will be only 2. So 2 plus 5, 7. So probability of B will be 7. In case 2, if G does not happen, if G does not happen, it means what? The first drawn marble is not green. So if marble is not green, then definitely marble drawn is blue. So if the first marble drawn is blue, then what will happen to the probability of B? So probability of B will become, can anyone tell me? So anyway, this will be out of 7 only, because now you have taken one blue marble, so that here it will be 4 marbles. So 4 plus 3, 7 only. So blue marble becomes 4 by 7. So now you can see that in both the cases, you take event whether it happens or it does not happen. It is affecting the probability of another event. So incidence of G event is affecting the probability of event B. So probability of A and probability of G is changing. So what you can see that G and B are dependent or independent. Now you tell me. Are they independent or dependent? They are dependent. They are dependent event. Even from the diagram, you can see that the taking of one marble will definitely going to affect the probability of blue marbles, right? Similarly, the event of taking blue marble out will definitely the probability of blue marbles in the second case. So in the both the case, one event is actually affecting the other event. So like that you have to decide. I think I have made the point clear. So I have made two case 1 and case 2, so that G probability, event G is affecting the probability of B in both the cases. So hence the event is dependent event. Okay. This is a examples, like same thing I have given the explanation. We can read it out. So now you see this part. There are 12 horses in race. So two horses named Niquisit and Exaggerator are two of those horses. Each horse has an equal chance of winning. So let A be an event that Nyquist wins. So I will simply, to avoid the confusion, I will take this as event A and I will take this as event B. Okay. So let A be the event that Nyquist win the race, and let B be the event where Exaggerator win the race. So are the event independent? Are the event independent or dependent? Tell me. How? How it is independent? No, they are not independent. They are not independent. Let us see why. So likewise, I have taken in previous case. Case 1, if A happens. If A happens means the Nyquist, which is a horse, name of the horse, will win the race. So if Nyquist will win the race, then definitely Exaggerator will not win the race, then probability of B becomes exactly 0. So there is no point in talking in that. Case 2, if A does not happen, it means Nyquist does not win the race. If Nyquist does not win the race, there are 11 more horses which has equal chance of winning. Remember that there are 12 horses. In that, Now, if Niquisit will not win, then leaving Niquisit, which is included in this 12 horse, 11 more horses are there, which is equally likely to win the race. So then what is the probability? Probability will become 1 by 11, where exaggerator is one of the horse, right? So you can see that the happening of one event is affecting the probability of another event. So event A and B are dependent events. Now, to find the probability that two independent event will happen, multiply the probability of the event. So this is the formula which you remember here. So probability of A and B means A intersection B, we can say, which is equal to probability of A into probability of B, if A and B are independent. If A and B event are independent. Okay. So when I do the part where in the condition probability also I will do this independent event. So there also you may come across another formula. So don't be get confused that so I will just do it here only. This is one formula of calculating the probability of A intersection B. So this formula I am just uh, expanding a bit more further. So we can also write this as in probability of A intersection B divided by probability of B is equal to probability of A. So I want all of you to just remember this part and keep it aside. Just write down somewhere that from this we have written that probability of A intersection B divided by probability of B is equal to probability of A. So in a condition probability, I will tell you another formula of finding the independent event. From this, I will tell in condition probability, I will tell you. But both formula are same. So no need to bother. But just remember like this for a time being. Okay, so let us take this example. On a multiple choice question, sorry. Okay. On a multiple choice test question, problem 1 has 4 choices and problem 2 has 3 choices. So each problem has only one correct answer. So what is the probability of randomly guessing the correct answer to both? So first tell me whether the event you're talking here is independent or dependent. So how are you going to answer this question? So let me put it this way. So let's say problem number 1 has 4 choices. So in that, let's say incorrect option 1, incorrect option 2, incorrect option 3, and then you have a correct option. So we have 4 options. Order does not matter. The correct option may be first, second, third, fourth. Order doesn't matter. So then problem number 2, I will just take this here. So that will be more easy. Okay, so this is the option for problem number 1. Okay, now for problem number 2, you have 3 options. So in 3 options, then you have incorrect 1, you may have incorrect 2, and you may have correct option. So what are the probability of guessing the correct answer to both problem? So problem 1 and problem 2, both you have to answer the correct. So to answer this question, let us draw the grid. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. So then 1, 2, 3, and 4. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay. So how many outcomes are there first of all? when you take the outcome, so you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So 12 outcomes we have. So what are the probability that you may get the correct answer for both? The only of chance is that only this grid. So where correct answer and correct answer. So only this part is correct answer. So the probability of getting the correct answer is how much? 1 by 12. Yes or no? So this is by the diagram we have identified, not 7 by 12, 1 by 12. One grid, no, out of 12. So 1 by 12 is the correct answer. So by looking at the formula of this part, this formula, so probability of A intersection B is equal to probability of A into probability of B. This is just a diagram interpretation, whether this formula works out or not. So we are getting 1 by 12. So how we get 1 by 12 that? So probability of A will be, of choosing the correct answer will be definitely 1 by 4, because you have out of 4 option, and then probability of choosing correct answer from the event B will be 3, because out of 3 only. So this is also 1 by 12. So this is the probability of A intersection B means what? How we can say? Choosing the correct answer from 1 and choosing the correct answer from problem number 2. So probability is 1 by 12. So whether this formula holds good, we have just checked it in diagram way like this. So I hope I have cleared. So you have only 1 out of 12 possibility of choosing the correct answer to both the problem. So both the problem correct answer is here, so and here. So when you multiply these two, only this grid you will get the correct answer, which is out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So this is the answer. So this formula holds good. So we have visualized this in this way. So therefore, the event A and B are what? Independent or dependent? Independent or dependent? Occurrence of probability of A, independent event. Yeah, correct. So I think now you have got the idea. So let's go to the next part. Okay. So now let's come back to the addition theorem. I'm giving you all the definitions and everything in this slide. So after this, I will do all the problems from the question bank at one shot. Okay. So if you have a syllabus, you can see that I'm already covering. I'm at the middle of the portion. So this is the addition theorem. So what the addition theorem says that for any two event A and B, probability of A union B is equal to probability of A plus probability of B minus probability of A intersection B. This part we have already seen yesterday also. Okay. For example, draw a deck of card. So yeah. Sorry. Drawing a deck of card, what is the probability of getting an ace or a spade? Can you answer this question? Drawing a card from a deck. So what is the probability of getting an ace or a spade? Two by 52. Okay. Let us see how we are getting 2 by 52. Read the problem carefully. Don't be in hurry to answer. So we have to find the probability of ace or spade. So look at the word carefully. It is not and, it is A. So this is nothing but we are finding the probability of A union B. Okay, so but I will just put this in different manner. I will put in words so that it is easy for you to understand. So probability of ace or spade can be defined as probability of ace you have to find first, okay, plus probability of spade you have to find, and then you have to subtract probability of ace and spade. So what is the probability of ace? Probability of ace will be, I think there are 4 aces, so that will be 4 out of 52. Plus, what is the probability of spade? So there will be 13 spade, minus what is the probability of ace and spade? So this part, don't get confused, guys. In GATE examination, whenever I teach, you always, when you read this as probability of ace and spade, this is nothing but I'm talking about probability of ace of spade. Understand in this manner. So how many probability of ace of spade you will get? Definitely only one ace of spade, so that will be minus 1 by 52. So now can you calculate this quickly? I will see. 4 by 13, exactly. So this will be 4 plus 3, 17 by 52, 17 minus 1, 16 by 52. You will get, or you will get 4, 4 just 16, 4, 1 just 4. So 4 by 13 is the answer. So whenever you have probability of ace and spade, you just read this as ace of spade. So I don't know in English you may be knowing or not. In Hindi we call it as hukum ka ikka. Okay, and we have only one hukum ka ikka out of 52. So that is why I put 1 by 52. That black color card, right? So you can see that I have applied the addition theorem to this problem. So we have a lot of application of addition theorem in your upcoming problem. So understand it here. You can just take, if you're noting this down, please note this. All right, so let's go to the next part. This example I've given. Now let us see the conditional probability. Just read the definition. A conditional probability is the probability of event occurring given that another event has already happened. What this means is, if I want to write, let's say probability, I've written probability of B by A. Let me also write probability of A given B. Okay. So what this represent is that I am actually finding the probability of A when B has already happened. B has already happened. This is what it means. So I'm finding the probability of A when B has already happened. So how to find the probability of A given B? When I put A bar B, this is nothing but A given B. We call it as A given B. So this can be found as probability of A. A and B means A intersection B whole divided by probability of B will come into denominator. So if it is probability of B by A, this means I am finding the probability of B when A has already happened. So the probability of B given A will be probability of, either you write probability of A intersection B or B intersection A, the output will not change. So here also I have written probability of intersection B, or you can also write this as probability of B intersection A. It does not matter, divided by probability of A. Anything is fine. So when you apply this formula, you will get the probability of B when A has already happened. All right. This is also probability of A you have to find when B has already happened. Got it? So in this case also, now here the concept comes independent in this case. Here also one more concept called as independent event. So once again, I'm discussing the independent event with respect to the conditional probability. So the formula will change. I've already told you that in previous slide. Remember that we had probability of A intersection B written as P of A into P of B. So this P of B have taken here. So I've told you to write this in the denominator, and that was equal to probability of A. This part I've told you to remember. This will not come here. So now you can see that probability of A intersection B divided by probability of B I'm getting here. So definitely this part RHS is now equal to what? Probability of A intersection B. So now you can, if you compare these two, this is the formula for independent event we have seen. So now you can see that if I compare these two, the probability of A can be written as probability of A can be written as what? Probability of A given B. So now you can see that even either you apply this formula or this formula, you are getting a concept of independent event. Am I clear? Am I clear? Okay. So no doubt, right? So from the condition probability also, now I'm defining the independent event. So here only I will define one more time the independent event. So your independent event. Earlier we have seen that probability of A intersection B divided by probability of B was written as probability of A. Okay. And from here, conditional probability, we have seen that probability of A given B is equal to probability of A intersection B divided by probability of B can be written. So now you can see that this part can be written as probability of A. So therefore, probability of A given B can be written as probability of A, or probability of B given A can also be written as probability of B. So this formula and this formula has the same meaning. This formula and this formula has the same meaning. Still, this is a independent event. Okay, both formulas we can apply. So what are the difference here? If we are finding the probability of A when B has already happened, okay, then I can apply this formula. If I know the probability of A and probability of B value directly, I can apply this formula. This is totally free to choose anyone. And anyway, so this is the part. So let us quickly move on to the example of conditional probability. Now, can you apply this condition probability and tell me the answer? Probability of A complement divided by B and probability of A by B complement will be different condition, Ayappa. That I will discuss in the problem itself, because probability of not happening, not A means A complement given B has already happened. So then definitely which you're talking about as A complement by B. So in this case, the formula will be definitely become probability of A complement intersection B divided by probability of B. This is the formula. So, but in this case, I have to be very much sure that what is probability of A complement intersection of B. Same formula only will appear here. There is no change in the formula of conditional probability. If it is complement here, then this will be complement here. That's all. No change in the formula. But how to calculate this, we will see in the problem, because I need to have certain event associated for A so that I can find A intersection B with complement. So formula will not change. Okay, now look, quickly go for this problem. There are 5 red chips and 4 blue chips and 6 white chips in a basket. 2 chips are randomly selected. Okay. So find the probability that the second chip is red. We'll change the color of the pen. Okay, I'm not liking this color. Okay. So we have to find the probability that the second chip is red, given that the first chip is blue. So understand the statement very carefully. What I have to find? I have to find the probability of probability that the second chip is red. Okay, given that the first chip is blue. Okay, so selecting, let me write in this way, selecting red chip given first chip is blue. First chip is blue. That makes sense. So there are 5 red chips and 4 blue chips and 6 white chips. So the event is happening such a way that 2 chips are randomly selected. 2 chips are randomly selected, assuming that the first chip is not replaced. Okay, so 2 chips are selected. So whenever you're choosing the chip, you are not putting it back. So the next time the event will reduce, the number of outcome will reduce. So how to find this event now? This will be equal to, can you tell me what is the answer now? Probability of selecting red chip I'm writing in words so that you can understand here. Selecting red chip and blue chip whole divided by probability of blue chip, no? So there are how many chips? 6 plus 4, 15 plus 1, 6 plus 4, 10 plus 5, 15. 15 chips are there. But the first chip, this event has already happened. So first chip we have already taken out. So the only chip remaining is now 14. And the probability of red chip will be 5. So that will be simple 5 by 14. I'm again and again repeating. You are finding the probability of red chip when blue chip has already taken out. So if blue chip is already taken out, so out of 15 minus 1 blue chip which has already taken out, remaining chips are only 14 because we are not replacing it back. So therefore the probability of selecting red chip will be, so red chip will be out of 5. So 5 divided by 14 will be the answer. So don't be get confused while answering the question, read it very carefully. So if I just put this as A, this as B, so I'm finding the probability of A when B has already happened. So what has happened in B? The first chip you have already taken out, which is a blue chip. Okay, so when blue chip has come out of 15, now 14 chips remaining. So therefore, in that 14 chips, the red chips can only 5 can come. So 5 by 14 is the answer. All right, all good? Any doubt in this? Shall we go ahead? So 5 by 14 the answer. You can see that. So again, I come back to the probability of independent event, as I said. So I will just quickly go through because I've already told you about this part, that how you have got probability of A by B is equal to A and probability of B by A is equal to B. So even in this case also, probability of event A and B are independent. So I think these two formulas are all right. I've already explained you, so no need to repeat this part. Do you want me to repeat this formula once again, or shall I go ahead? Because I've already told you in the previous slide. Do you want me to repeat this, or shall we go ahead with the next slide? Okay. Once again, okay. Adit Shrestha wants to explain this once again. Okay, fine. So let us quickly, I will explain you. From the independent event, previously we had seen that we have the formula as A intersection B is equal to probability of A into probability of B. This is what the formula we have seen for independent event. So I have told you that probability of A intersection B, I'm just taking the probability of B in the denominator, is equal to probability of A. You have got it. Okay. Now from the condition probability, from conditional probability, we have seen that the probability of A when B has already happened can be calculated with the formula probability of A intersection B divided by probability of B. So you can see that this particular part is same. So then what will happen? This will also be same. Okay. So this implies that probability of A given B will be equal to probability of A. So this is the formula I have come across, new formula for independent event, which I have written here. Okay. So even in this case also, A and B are independent. So this is also one formula, and this is also one formula which we have seen earlier for independent event. Both have same meaning, no change in the meaning at all. So this is what I have written here. So if A by B is equal to probability of A, you can write, then also we can write probability of B by A is equal to probability of B. This also holds good. So in this case, you are finding probability of A when B has already happened. So find A. This is what it means. Given that B has already happened. In this case, we are finding the probability of B, so given that A has already happened. Got the idea now? How this formula is same as this formula? These two are same only, no change at all. Any more doubt in this, Adit? Is it clear? Okay. So parallelly also you please write it down. Okay. So because you are dealing with probability and statistics, so many things are there to tell. I mean, tell somewhere in some slide whenever I remember that it's necessary required here. So please make a note of that points. Later when you go back to the slide and see those things, you should be able to remember what we have done it. All right. So we are already about to finish. Another 2-3 minutes will wind up. Let's go to the next slide. Just I will quickly take this example and then we'll wind up. We have seen previously the example of independent event with this formula. Previously, we have solved the problem with A intersection B is equal to probability of A by probability of B. which is independent event. We have solved the problem by this formula. Now let us see how we deal with this particular problem. Just read the problem carefully. Decide if the events are independent or dependent. Selecting a diamond from a standard deck of card, which is the event A, put it back in the deck, and then selecting the spade from the deck, which is the event B. So what I have to find here now? I have to find the probability of, now which event has happened first, which event has happened first will come here, and what we are finding will come here. So can you tell me which event has happened first? Diamond, selecting of diamond. Okay, decide if the event, leave it this, selecting a diamond from a standard deck of card, putting it back, and then selecting the spade. Okay, so which event has happened already? Selection of diamond card, and then I've done something now. Selecting a diamond from a deck of card, and then selecting a spade. Okay, now then I have to select the spade. So what this implies to you? What is the probability of this? So I can simply write this as probability of B given A. So B has selecting the spade, right? So probability of B I'm finding because selecting the spade when I have already selected the diamond. So diamond will be for event A. So B by A. So that can be equal to what? Probability of B from this formula. So what is the probability of B then? Probability of B means only have to write the probability of selecting the diamond. So how many ways you can select the diamond? Out of 52. How many cards are there of diamond? 13 by 52 is the answer for this particular problem. Now you have got the idea how the problems work statement wise. Okay. So event is independent or dependent? Independent. Why it is independent? Because from here also, if you can see the probability of A, if you write separately, this is also 13 by 52. What is A? Selecting the diamond from a deck, so 13 diamond card, and probability of B, which is spade. Spade is also 13 by 52. So you can see that incidence of event A is not affecting the probability of B. So it is an independent event. So anyway, both events are not affecting each other. Selecting of a diamond is not affecting the probability of selecting of spade. Either you understand it here or you understand it this way. Meaning is same. They're independent in nature. Am I done? So I will just leave till here. So from multiplication rule, we'll do it tomorrow. Okay. So today, whatever we have seen in that important concept is independent event. So don't forget independent event. And just quickly recall. So independent event, we have two formulas we have seen. One is probability of A intersection B is equal to probability of A into probability of B. Just quickly write down in the paper or in the notebook, wherever you have. And also we have seen one more formula, that probability of A given B is equal to probability of A, or probability of B given A is equal to probability of B. This is we have seen, and then we have seen the conditional probability. We have seen the conditional probability. The conditional probabilities is the probability of any event A. Probability of event A when B has already happened can be calculated as probability of A intersection B divided by probability of B. Okay, and then what else we have seen? Addition theorem also today. This also you don't forget. So quickly write down. So probability of A union B is equal to probability of A plus probability of B, and subtract probability of A intersection B. So make sure that A and B are not mutually exclusive. If they are mutually exclusive or disjoint set, because the intersection B becomes null set, then this will become 0. So I will also write probability of A plus probability of B if A and B are disjoint, because intersection B becomes null set. And then we have seen some examples on that. So this is what we have seen today. So multiplication rule, we will discuss this tomorrow. All right. Okay.